All right, today we are diving deep into something you almost definitely have in your pantry right now, olive oil. But we're not talking about cooking with it. We're going to uncover its hidden power to protect, well, our most important organ, the brain.
I mean, just think about it for a second. What if the real key to a stronger, more resilient brain isn't some high-tech pill from the future, but something ancient that's been on our tables for thousands of years?
Because you know that secret? It's really hiding in plain sight. So let's peel back the layers on this everyday ingredient and find out what makes it so incredible for our brain health.
Okay, so here's the first big reveal. The magic isn't actually in the oil as a whole. No, it's inside these specific, really powerful little compounds that are packed within it. They're the real heroes of this story.
And it's time to meet those heroes. Let's get to know the compounds that have got scientists so excited. We're talking about polyphenols.
So, what in the world are polyphenols? Well, they're these completely natural compounds, and what makes them famous are their incredible antioxidant and anti-inflammatory abilities. You can think of them as the olive's own personal defense system against damage, a defense system that, it turns out, we can borrow for ourselves. And they are super concentrated in extra virgin olive oil.
But, and this is so important, not all olive oil is the same, not even close. The real game changer is the concentration of these polyphenols. You've got your regular extra virgin olive oil, and then you have what's called high phenolic EVOO. And believe me, the difference in their protective power is just massive.
So let's name a few of the main players, right? You've got hydroxytyrosol and tyrosol, some of the most powerful antioxidants found anywhere in nature. Then there's oleuropein. That's what gives olive oil that distinct bitter taste. And then my favorite, oleocanthal. This is the one that gives you that peppery kick in the back of your throat. That little burn? That's a sign of its amazing anti-inflammatory power. It actually works on the same pathways in the body as ibuprofen. How cool is that?
So now that we know what they are, let's get to the really good part, the how. How exactly do these little compounds go to work protecting your brain?
Okay, it pretty much boils down to three main jobs. First, they're like firefighters, battling oxidative stress and inflammation, two of the biggest culprits behind cognitive decline. Second, they're like bodyguards, reinforcing the brain's main line of defense. And third, they're like a cleanup crew, helping to clear out cellular junk before it can build up and cause trouble.
Let's dig into that bodyguard role for a second. We're talking about the blood-brain barrier, or the BBB. I want you to picture it like the world's most exclusive nightclub bouncer for your brain. It decides what gets in and what stays out. It's absolutely crucial. And what the science shows is that these polyphenols actually make that barrier stronger, tougher, and better at its job.
And that cleanup crew function? This is a huge deal. Polyphenols help stop the accumulation of nasty toxic proteins like tau and beta amyloid. You've probably heard of them. They're the ones linked to diseases like Alzheimer's. They do this by giving a boost to a process called autophagy, which is basically the cell's own internal recycling program. It's brilliant.
Okay, the science sounds amazing, right? But this is where the rubber meets the road. What does the evidence from actual human studies have to say? First off, let's talk about how much. 30 milliliters. That was the daily dose used in a really important study out of Auburn University. And what's 30 milliliters? It's about 2 tablespoons. That's it. A totally doable amount that, as we'll see, led to some pretty incredible results.
And this was one of the biggest takeaways from that study. In people who already had mild cognitive impairment, taking high phenolic olive oil didn't just have some vague benefit. It specifically, and this is a direct quote, significantly enhanced blood-brain barrier function. That's not just a nice idea, that is a direct, measurable protective effect on the brain.
Okay, so let's tie this all together. We know what these polyphenols are, we know how they work, and we've seen the proof. So why is the amount, the concentration of these polyphenols so incredibly important? It's because the benefits are what's called dose-dependent. And that's just a scientific way of saying something really simple and really powerful. The more polyphenols you get, the stronger the protective effect on your brain. It's not just about using olive oil. It's about using the right kind of olive oil, the one that's absolutely loaded with these compounds.
And you can literally see it in the data.
This here comes from a meta-analysis. That's a huge study that pools the results from lots of other studies. And when you compare high polyphenol oil to low polyphenol oil, the difference is just crystal clear. The high phenolic stuff dramatically reduced markers of oxidative stress and seriously improved cholesterol, even boosting HDL, which is the good cholesterol. These are system-wide benefits that directly support a healthy brain.
And here's the kicker. The difference we're talking about can be absolutely staggering. A high-quality, high-phenolic olive oil can have up to 30 times the polyphenol concentration of your standard bottle of EVOO from the supermarket. 30. That's the difference between a nice salad dressing and a powerful, functional food for your brain.
Which really leaves us with one final big question. In our constant search for cutting-edge solutions for brain health, could it be that one of the most powerful tools we have has been hiding in our kitchens all along? An ancient food just waiting to help us protect our brains for the future. Something to think about.